into the Real Housewives of Miami season 7, episode 15, baby. I said, woo, these heifers are a mess. But let's get into it. So we start off with the ladies going to the spa on the boat and everything. So we got Kiki and Julia. Relax. Well, before they get to the spa, okay. So we got Kiki and Julia outside at the pool, just relaxing. Because some of the ladies are going to do aerobics, 80s aerobics. So they went there. Some of the ladies are just sitting out at the pool. And so we had them sitting out at the pool, just chit chatting and about last night. We got Lawson just. So they ended up doing a workout and everything. And then after the workout, they told Lawson won't let the Lisa thing go and stuff like that, which is making everybody feel like y'all need to work this out at this point, because we're done with this. Everybody's over it. So, they get her to go talk to him. So everybody go meet out at the pool and stuff like that. But Lisa and Larson go sit off and have a talk. As they go off and have a talk, they're just chit-chatting or whatever about the issues. And at this point, Larson feeling like you stay friends with somebody that was insulting me and everything else online, and you wasn't really being a friend to me in my time of need. And I'm like, Lisa looking at her like, huh? Lisa, well, I don't even care. Lisa didn't care. Lisa said, let's move past this because I ain't going in the back. Either we moving forward or we not. Lisa told her issues and stuff like that. They both ended up apologizing, and now they cool. But apparently Lisa unfollowed her. When Lisa unfollowed Marcus, she unfollowed her too. And she said, girl, I gotta refollow you, girl. Because I unfollowed you. Little Lawson like, what? I said, you thought she was Lisa? I said, Lisa ain't playing with you. He said, we may never be besties anymore, but we start from square one. But that's what's going on there. So they get it. So Alexis get a text from Lawson saying that they made up and stuff. Everybody excited about that and happy about that. So Julia and them, everybody out there. Adriana out at the pool. Adriana looked at kind of sad and whatever. And she ended up getting ready to leave out. So the other ladies ended up saying Julia have a plan of surprising Adriana for her birthday, doing a dinner, and they're gonna get a cake and stuff like that to surprise her. Even though she don't celebrate her birthday, they was gonna do that. Everybody excited about it. So next they ended up going to the spa. All the ladies having a good time at the spa, getting relaxed, rejuvenated, and all that good stuff. While we at the spa, we had Adriana and Gertie talking. Where Adriana opened up about not Adriana. Gertie opened up about to Adriana about going to couple therapy with her hubby, and then her hubby suggesting that she need to do solo therapy, individual therapy, and she's been putting it off for a minute to do individual therapy because it's gonna bring up childhood trauma that she has not dealt with, and because of the cancer, her going through cancer and stuff, it has brought a lot of it to the front, and then situation that happened in this group have brought that to the front too, the trauma back. So her and Adriana had a talk. Adriana told her, Adriana said this would be really good for you, so that you can get the things that you need to get out. And she's like, yeah, I've been putting it out, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. She don't want to do it at all. She don't want to deal with the trauma because I think it's a lot to handle. But we're gonna get into that. So after that, we get Alexis and Stephanie pulled to the side to have a conversation, where during this conversation, Alexis lied on Marisol. She lied on Marisol like a mother sucker. I said, this heifer. I said, oh, you just throwing your friend under the bus like crazy. Your bestie who ride or die for you at the drop of a dime. Saying that Marisol was the one that didn't want to. Marisol had a lot to say about not being on the plane and stuff and that. And she said, I decided not to go on a plane because Marisol wanted somebody to stay back with her. So she said, I decided to stay back and relax and hang out with my friend and do a little shopping around and stuff. And Stephanie like, oh, okay, Shane, that's cool. She was going through the situation of what happened on the bus and what was told to her, that things were said that she was bossy, she was this, she was that, the rules and everything. They talked about that. All of a sudden, it flipped to Stephanie saying, you remind me of my sister because the situation had the stuff that he having between each other, she had the same issues with her sister and they don't talk. And so that Alexis went, I haven't talked to my sister in years and stuff because we going through the same thing. I said this. I said, Alexis, I gotta give you that fake Emmy girl, because you make sure you get out of some stuff. But you still dealing with that no good man of yours. Make it make sense, girl. But she out there crying, boo-hoo crying, Stephanie hugging her and stuff like that. Saying maybe we can be the sisters. You can talk to me about what's going on with you, and I can talk to you what's going on with me, since we ain't got our sisters and stuff like that. And I can understand why Stephanie's sister don't deal with her. Because I said the way you act this whole entire season, I said I wouldn't deal with you either. I said we'd be scrapping out in the street every day because it's gonna go down. Because I said you do stuff to make yourself to be a victim when you the cause of everything. You just like Alexis. Y'all cause of a lot of stuff, but play the victim very well. And I see what you do with your siblings, and I see why they don't mess with you. But that's what's going on there. So she didn't blame everything on Marisol and said, I speak nothing but the truth. I always speak everybody else's truth. I said, girl, you don't speak the truth at all. But I said we move on to the dinner where they all got to wear red dresses and stuff like that. Lisa's actually there early. Lisa was on time. Lisa, yeah. So Lisa was there early. She said, it feels good to be here early and stuff like that. But everybody else was late and stuff. And the professor asked her how long does it take her to get ready. So she timed it. It take her 3 hours. I said, yeah. Yeah, I said, girl, I said, you a Leo, so it's like I understand. Cause I said, yeah, I'm a Leo too. And I said, but I'm never late. So it's like, yeah, that's the difference. But it takes time to get ready. It takes time to get ready. That 3 hours is about right. It's about right. I give you that, Lisa. But we move on past that. We get into Kiki asking the ladies when was the last time they got laid, and Alexa said 2 days ago. They said, by who? They so stupid. She went, Todd. Everybody went, oh. I thought we got her off here. So, they did that little 1-2-1-2. Lisa called it a booty call and stuff like that. I said, I said, well, I said, well, that's what he been doing. So they asked if Alexis and Stephanie, because they went to talk, asked if Alexis and Stephanie argue or anything. And she said, no, we didn't. We had a good talk. Everything went good. They left it like that. We move on to them surprising Adriana with a cake. Adriana was like, okay. Mm-hmm. But then the cake had a math question on there with her age on there. I think she's 50. Is she 54? She's 54 or 53, something like that. She in her 50s. and she wiped it out with the they had like a microphone on the cake. She wiped it out with that. I said everybody trying to figure out who put that up there. Cause we all know she has an issue with her age. And I said, Julia. Because Julia was the one that's getting her the cake. And I said, Julia, the only person I can think of that would do that. I said, Marisol, her and Marisol have their issues, but I don't think Marisol would do that. Because if that's a big problem for somebody their age, I don't think she would do that. I said I don't think she would do something like that. That's just me. That's what I think. I think Julia would do that because Julia that type of person and think she's funny. But that's what went on there. So the ladies ended up. Okay, so after that, the boat trip and stuff, that's all over. So they end up showing the ladies doing their thing around town and stuff like that. We ended up seeing Kiki in the car. This was really funny. Kiki in the car with her daughter, and her daughter tell her mama, "Oh, I seen my big brother kissing a girl." She's like, "When you see that?" I was like, "Where?" She just smiled. I said, "Oh shoot, sister keeper, the keeper is your sister." But that was a little cute thing. So we ended up getting Gertie on her way to therapy. Hubby's dropping her off. She's nervous about it. So in therapy, they get down to business. She ended up talking about that her past trauma has resurfaced in her life. It has resurfaced into her relationship, also in this friend group. And she talked about her childhood, where her and her brother, was sent here to stay with family members in a house, and they had to be quiet and this, that, and third. And it was traumatizing for her. And then going to school, and Gertie, Gertie is her middle name. Her first name, I forget what she said it was. It's something else. And her business is by her middle name and stuff like that. And she said, yeah. And like she talked about the incident, that water scene that Julia threw on her, and them heifers didn't do anything or say anything about the situation. Yeah, she said that caused a childhood trauma from school and stuff when she used to get teased about her name and stuff like that. And they talked about also her feeling the hurt and the regret and stuff that she has towards her parents for, you know, bringing them here, leaving them here by themselves. Why, and stuff like that, because she don't know how she don't know if she can ever talk to them about that. But the therapist said, we're going to work on that to get you to that point where you can talk to them, because she needs to she needs to be able to talk to them about this, because what they did really hurt. It really traumatized her to the point where it's affecting her life now. And I like that Gertie is becoming her own person. She always been her own person, but she's standing up for herself, and these heifers can't take it. They can't. They really can't. That's what went on there. So we move on to Marisol, her hubby, Alexis, and her youngest son go over Marisol house to have dinner and stuff. So they just chit chatting and whatever. And you got Alexis talking about because Marisol asking about what's going on between Todd and whatever, and she said that her and Todd, they working on things, get things and stuff. She the kids, she ain't like the kids know, my kids know and stuff. Her son sitting there, she ain't like she asked Marisol said, what about Peter? She went, Peter, she went, well, he knows, but he don't say nothing. And the brother looking over at her, smiling at he wanted to say so bad. He wanted to tell so bad because he know you lied. Because Peter is telling you exactly how he feels. And both of your sons are telling you exactly how they feel about that man and what you're doing, and you still don't care. Because that man do not care for your kids, never have. And you just want this man. I said, but this man wants your money and want what you got, because he has nothing. But that's what happened there. Um okay, so we move on past there. We ended up seeing Stephanie get ready for her holiday party that she's throwing for holiday party she's throwing, and she having Adriana be the performer and stuff. And also she has a drink that night that's gonna be a drink that Kiki, a special drink Kiki had created that is going to Kiki's charity for um Hades, Hades, I want to say. Yeah, a donation, half of proceeds would be going to Kiki's charity. And stuff like that. They ended up having a little talk. Her and Adrian had a little talk where she talked about Marisol, that Marisol is two-faced and stuff like that. And Adriana like, girl, you just now catching on. She ain't sure both of them too. She like both of them two-faced, but yeah. So Stephanie ready to prepare to come at Marisol. But I'm like, how can you believe Alexis? Alexis, I said you should be looking at it. You should be looking at it full circle. That Alexis threw her best friend under the bus, and I think Alexis is lying on her best friend because her best friend actually, because Marisol told you her issue 100%. Period. And you just gonna leave Alexis because y'all had a tearful sister to sister problem. But that's what's going on, y'all. That's all that happened in this episode. Like, share, subscribe, and join the channel. Let me know how y'all feel about it. But let me see what's going on before I get up out here. We got in the chat. Huh? Okay. Um, I don't know what that is, but okay. Okay, that's all I got for y'all. Like, share, subscribe, and join the channel, and I get back at